We're screaming for God and your mother. Jesus, Mommy, where are you? There isn't a God. There isn't.
For more than 100 years, the Florida School for Boys has protected a very dark secret.
If you talk to anybody, you'll die.
A select group of reform school employees beat, raped, and murdered innocent children in a torture chamber known as the White House.
There's a common denominator that flows through all the White House boys.
It's time you line up at the White House and get beat.
You go into the White House, which is like a dungeon. It's real damp and stinky. And
You sit on a bed in a room, waiting and until they say, okay, you come with me.
They'd put you down in that bed, and they would tell you, you grab those bars, you put your face into that pillow.
turn your face to the wall. Don't move, don't make a sound, or we'll start over.
The beatings were sport for the adults, based on who would draw first blood.
I can't speak for the whites, but I know that the blacks, I think a lot of blacks was mistreated because the man just had the power and that he could do what he wanted to do.
This boy, they took him to the White House at night, late at night, and on the way there, he slit his wrist in the back seat of the car. Well, they didn't know it until they got him to the White House. Then they turned around and brought him back to the infirmary, and then they took him back to the White House, where they proceeded to beat the hell out of him. And from the back of his knees to the middle of his back, he was black and blue. And on his thighs and his butt, there were splits in his skin from being hit so many times. He had to be hit at least 100 or more times.
Frank said that he didn't think that they ever beat a slave or an animal as badly as they beat those children. The blood ran down his legs.
These people are animals. They're not of the same species we are. They're inhuman.
They beat the weakest of the lot, especially the orphans. After all, who would miss them?
There were kids that went down and never came back. And you always wondered what happened to them. You didn't ask.
For these broken boys, now men, the circle of violence has never ended. They want those responsible brought to justice, and to honor the memory of at least 200 children who never came home or were never heard from again.